Hello, and welcome to the Footballers Fixable Alright podcast. Sess and Dan are here. Hi guys, how are we? We well?
G'day.
Hello.
Tell you what, it's been a brilliant week. Is Dan alright there?
Still testing
in
my
a tunnel
mic.
somewhere.
Yeah, still.
We know you're lowly down on our podcast. We keep you way down low just to keep your head in check and stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to say hello. Actually, we just know you're there.
Just like mumble or something. Give us a nod. That'd be fine.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, I'm recording from the bottom of a well. Please save me.
Look, we'll put the ladder down after. All right.
All right. Cheers.
For now, just be quiet.
All right.
But guys, it's been a great week though. Brilliant week. Not only it's half term, so I've been on holiday, so it's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
But also another Arsenal win. My FPL is looking good. I've overtaken Tom, who I've got a bet with, so that's gone well.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I'm loving it, and I might even I'm close to you now, Sess, aren't I? Because you overtook me again last week.
Yeah, it's quite close, I think, between us. The main thing is that we are very far away from Dan.
Yeah. He was down in a well in the league as well, isn't he?
However, just to remind you that he was very far away from you last season and he still beat you.
I just felt sorry for him, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Need to stop feeling sorry for people.
I just think it's the Arsenal in you. I think you're just sort of like, you've picked up on that ability to bottle it, so...
Wow. Already the jabs are flying. Amazing.
Yeah.
Right, well, Dan, you know that Sess has been going on about Michael Owen during the week? And he seems to have found some new respect for him for some reason.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was shocked. A man of Sess's intelligence and logic and all of
keep
these.
Going, Dan.
All of the Mr. Impossible now has a ridiculous opinion, so this is quite enjoyable for us all.
Yeah, it's Mr. Very Much Possible now, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know I'm
joining our level.
On my back foot.
You're gonna
on your level.
What's it like down there with Dan, Sess? How's it getting on down there?
Come join me down in the well.
God, the two lowly grunts. There you are. You belong together. But yeah, so we're going to be getting on to fixing the perception of Michael Owen in a little bit. But can I bring in an off the post first?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Oh, guys, this is brilliant. So, you may remember a goalkeeper called Scotty Carson.
Oh yes.
Remember him?
He's been around, Scotty.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, but he's retired. Yeah. But some of the comments after he's retired, because they're saying that he's the most decorated goalkeeper in his, most recent years. Some of the comments I've seen, because he hasn't even played a minute. Some of these comments like, his trophy to game ratio must be phenomenal at City.
That is true, yeah.
Definitely more trophies than games.
And this is it, yeah. And the thing is, he's kind of found the whole recipe of life, isn't he? So, yeah, the final comment is he won the Champions League twice in the same stadium and didn't play a single minute in either final.
Wow.
There you go.
That is a hell of a career to have, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. Before that, he was playing a lot and he didn't win anything, I don't think. But there we go.
Yeah.
Scotty Carson.
Congratulations, Scotty Carson.
Scotty Carson.
There you go.
Warmest arse in football.
There we go. So... hats off to you, Scotty. Right, well, there we are. I suppose this time we've got to get on to Michael Owen then, is it? We've got to fix his perception. So what's all this about, Sess? Where's this newfound
love
and respect for him, yeah?
Right, well, firstly, I don't have a newfound love and respect for Michael Owen. The point I'm making...
Backtracking
is that,
already?
He's... Well, my point is that he has been labelled basically for a long time now as this idiotic guy who, whatever he says, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Any comment he says, and that's quite true. A lot of things he says, we'll read them out. A lot of things he says are quite ridiculous. However, because he was quite early on in his punditry career labelled as such, anything he says is now thought of as the same idiotic thing. However, if you actually listen to a few of the things he says, they're kind of the norm nowadays, what people tend to say.
You think there's actually some substance to what he's saying?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I think even his footballing career, a lot of the decisions he made maybe kind of led towards the disrespect or lack of genuine respect that he probably, as a player, deserved.
So you don't feel there's a fair perception of Michael Owen out there among the footballing public?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, a lot of people that watch football nowadays wouldn't have seen him play anyway.
Younger generations.
Yeah, exactly. And so they would know him as this guy who says stupid things. So, for example, a while ago, he mentioned, I can't remember, like 2-3 years ago maybe, it was on a podcast with Simon Jordan. He mentioned that in his time, you had to be a genuinely good footballer to be considered great. So, good with the ball and creativity, all that stuff.
Dennis Bergkamp, yeah. Well, that sort of player.
It's all right, I'll edit that out, don't write it down.
Thierry Henry? I can go on. Those sort of players we're thinking, yeah?
Like the Chelsea legend Fabregas, for example.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Or like the City legend Nasri.
Wow.
Yeah. United legend Van Persie.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, United legend Wayne Rooney as
I'll
well.
be deducting your pay if you don't hurry up and get on with it, you two.
Wayne Rooney, the greatest Premier League player of all time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got him going now as well.
Greater than Bergkamp, isn't he, really?
Get on with it.
Bergkamp, so overrated. So overrated.
So anyway, going back to what Michael Owen was saying, he said that you genuinely had to be a good footballer to be considered great. Now, you just have to be a good athlete. You have to be able to run up and down the pitch, he said, and kick a ball sideways.
Cover the ground. Really, it's the mileage. And...
It's the athlete as opposed to the footballer, which back then he was ridiculed for that. Whereas now, that's actually the main talking point, isn't it? People just think of that as the norm. Everyone kind of agrees. Yeah, you don't have the great Pirlos and Ronaldinhos and stuff anymore. That's just been coached out, and everyone basically is pretty much the same, but a different level of athleticism. And I think that's kind of the norm now, isn't it?
Okay, so we said one thing that has a little bit of substance and truth to it.
So this is my argument. I'm not saying let's look at every single quote and let's break it down. I'm using that as one example of something that he said where it's actually normal, and yet because he was labelled so long ago, people will ridicule it anyway.
Well, that's a shame, because I'm going to bring up loads of quotes of where, and I'm going to analyse it.
I'm perfectly fine with that, because I think a lot of those are hilarious.
Yeah.
Another one that he said was quite recently on, I think, Rio Ferdinand's podcast. I think Rio's got a podcast.
Yeah, I did see a clip of him with Rio, yeah.
So there's something he said, which was specifically about defensive playing against creative playing. And he said it's easier to defend than be creative.
Right, yeah.
No, it's easier to be creative than to defend. That's what he was saying. And Rio, as a defender, he was like, I'm not so sure about that. And Owen said, well, I can't build this house, but give me a few weeks, I could knock it down. And again, that was ridiculed and it went viral on social media. But if you think about it, that I agree with that.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, they do say that, I don't know whether this is true, if I agree with this point, but a lot of people do say the hardest part of football is scoring a goal.
Yeah.
And there is a perception that scoring and creating, and being obviously a creative genius myself, it's quite a difficult thing to do. It's no wonder not everyone can do it.
Yeah, you included. So I think the thing that he said is perfectly fine. And actually, the analogy he gave is quite a beautiful analogy. If anyone else said it, they probably would have gone, oh, yeah, that's true.
Is that Aristotle? Yeah.
Yeah. But because Owen said it, and he has this reputation that he got labelled, basically people ridiculed him the way that he's been ridiculed for the last, I don't even know how long he's been a pundit.
That's the thing. I wonder if this stems back to even when he was a player as well. Because he, obviously, for our younger listeners, they might not have known how good Michael Owen was. When he, as they say, burst onto the scene, he was phenomenal. He won the Ballon d'Or.
This is the equivalent of, the epitome of bursting onto the scene,
It really is. He was the first really of English, at least in our generation anyway.
Yeah.
He was up there with, he may have been as good as Rooney, if not better. There's that debate between the two of them, really, that he was that good.
Well, that was actually his argument on the same podcast with Rio. He said at his age, as a teenager, he was better than Rooney. And he said, give me another teenager who was as good as me, like in the world. He was saying, R9, for example, was amazing as a teenager. But how many people, like Henry, he was saying, he played against Henry in his teenage years, because I think he's a year older or something. And he said Henry was not that level at the age of 17, 18.
He was very raw at that stage. But
yeah,
he sort of peaked early, didn't he, Owen?
Yeah, and I would say absolutely true. I can't think of another 17, 18-year-old that's good enough to have won 2 Golden Boots. You have to be a great player to get a Golden Boot once.
Just once.
And then twice.
Yeah. At that age as well.
Yeah.
At that age.
And go and look at the goals. At Liverpool, he was there for 216 games he played for Liverpool. He scored 118 goals. And go and look at them as well.
Yeah.
All kinds of goals, from lobbing the keeper to placing it with finesse.
And this was the best era of defending as well that we always talked about.
Getting some top defenders as well. And he won the Ballon d'Or as well. So he was
He's
the
last English player, wasn't he?
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. He was good enough to be chosen to go to Real Madrid. And not just any Real Madrid, the Galacticos.
Yeah,
That's with
and this
R9, with Zidane, Beckham, Roberto Carlos. And they chose Owen.
This is where I think the beginning of the character we know as Michael Owen started to unravel a bit, because the Galacticos squad is, oh my god, look at the stardom, look at the magic. It's media frenzy, isn't it? It was all about selling shirts. Ronaldo, Zidane, Beckham.
Yeah.
You know, and Owen, that was at the time, because we were young kids at the time when he went there, but seeing Owen go to a club like that was the first kind of sign that it's all about ego, and because they didn't win much, that Galacticos side. They weren't a very successful side. It was all about the egos and the attention and the selling shirts rather than the functionality of that team.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of shows what type of character Owen was even then at that age. I know you have to probably have a lot of confidence, maybe arrogance and ego to be a successful player at the very top anyway.
Yeah.
But that's kind of rubbed into his pundit career too. I think this is one thing which harms the perception, because people will see his ego from a player and as a pundit. Like, since he was on that Rio thing showing off his Ballon d'Or, you know?
Yeah,
and I don't think that's going to win a lot of fans over.
This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at with him. Like, where Seth, you were saying, you know, he said some, you know, sensible things and all this stuff, and he still gets all this. I think even if he says the most sensible thing in the world, because he says that with that real smug look on his face, it's really hard to like him and to agree with him. Like, I do think his personality is almost one that it kind of like is easy to target him because of it. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
he doesn't help himself.
No, it's like that kid at school that was really fun to pick on because he just, you know, loved himself. Like,
wow, that's a bit dark, Dan.
View into Dan's world, isn't it? As a bully,
see the true Dan there.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
You know, like that was me at school, by the way. So,
what, the one picking on?
Yeah, I was the one getting picked on. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I completely agree with that. However, if you think about pretty much any player out there, Gerrard, for example, every time I hear an interview from him, all I hear from him is how he was so arrogant in his own head that he was the best player and he was going to dethrone anyone playing in his position for England or for Liverpool. So when he was like 16 or something, he was looking at, I can't remember who it was, like the legends in midfield, and all he was thinking was, I'm going to dethrone you guys because I'm going to be better than you.
But
you look at Cristiano Ronaldo when he was, 17 or 18 when he was at United, and he got ridiculed by his teammates for saying that he's going to be the best player in the world. Well, look at him then.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the kind of mind frame that Owen had to have, because every single level, from youth level to reserves to going into the first team, he had to have that mentality in order to dethrone people like
and that's fine.
He was having to go against like Fowler and everything, and he did that.
And
that's the thing.
fine. That's fine as a player. Like as a player, that's great. But what's happened is that element of him hasn't left him as a pundit. So like you say about Steven Gerrard, when he talks about how arrogant he talks about it in the past tense, and you can see he's got some level of self-reflection now. He's grown up a bit, whereas I feel like Michael Owen's little arrogant like behaviour and stuff has just never left him. Maybe because of the amount of injuries he's had, maybe he's kind of stuck a little bit in that phase of his life where maybe he didn't get the entire career that he wanted or whatever. I don't know.
Good point. Yeah,
maybe it's that, but there's an element of him that feels like he's still got that arrogant personality as a player.
He's still trying to prove himself, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely trying to prove himself, but I think there's a lot that he's trying to prove that he can have an argument against, because he didn't get to have the long career like other people. He didn't get to be at his peak like other people because he got injured
so
at
many
early 20s.
Yeah.
Whereas Gerrard, for example, you mentioned how after playing he doesn't have that kind of arrogance. He does, because the same Rio podcast, I think Gerrard was the episode before Owen or maybe after Owen. Anyway, Gerrard started talking about how he, as a manager, he didn't want to take the Rangers job because he wants to start managing a team that is challenging. He thinks he is basically good enough as a manager to manage a team that's going to be challenging. He wants to be in the Prem and stuff. What has he done? What has he done at all, aside from that one good season for Rangers, which, again, Scottish League? What has he done to actually justify that he's good enough for a title-challenging tean in the Premier League?
Well, I think that's a fair point. But
that's a fair point.
You're using that to justify that Owen is better than he is, where...
No, not at all. How have you got that? I'm trying to say... You guys brought up how Gerrard is this like a guy who's like sensible after retiring from football.
Well, Dan did, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm basically saying all players are like this. And I think there's so many pundits out there that say silly things. Like, for example, Roy Keane. Now, I know you love him, Dan. And I know you love him as well, because James, because he's better than Patrick Vieira.
Yeah.
So Roy Keane is a famous pundit, and he's respected by most people, and a lot of people's favourite pundit. He said one of the worst things that I think a pundit's ever said when David De Gea made a genuinely world-class save, and he was sat opposite Patrice Evra, and he said, "It's his job." And that became a viral. It became a proper viral thing.
It's his job.
However, the thing is,
that was
if
intentional.
you say a goalkeeper doing a world-class save is just his job, and he's said that about goalkeepers, like before and after that quote, he's always said for goalkeepers, I don't want to say too much about goalkeepers because it's their job to save, in which case it's a striker's job to score, it's a midfielder's job to assist and tackle. Every single thing that he says, every time someone asks him a question, he should just say, well, that player's just done his job.
Okay, I mean, I think that's fair. To be honest, I'm not going to defend Roy Keane on that one because he isn't as good as Vieira. But
God, you bring up Arsenal all the time.
Yeah, I feel like he said that tongue in cheek though, like it was done in a way, like
even if he said that one, like tongue in cheek, he's
joke,
always said that before that quote and after that joke.
Yeah,
he actually got into an argument with Evra that day, didn't he?
Did,
and Evra was going, whoa, hang on,
he was saying that was a good save, and he was like, no, it's just his job.
It made great TV, but it is a bit of a kind of a silly point to make. If you're I mentioned about the pundit being it means wise man or learned man or whatever it is, wise person. We expect more from pundits. We fixed pundits last season, yet these idiots are still out there saying this stuff. And I can't allow you to use that to justify Michael Owen either. I'd get rid of all of them that are saying this stupid stuff. We want to be learning stuff about football, right? Right, I've got a game. Can I play? I want to play a game.
Okay. Oh, weird.
So it's Who Said This game, right? So I'm going to give you a few quotes, and I want you to tell me if it was a famous philosopher, and bonus points if you can name who it is, or Michael Owen. So the first famous line, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
I'm going to say that's a philosopher.
It is. That was Socrates. Well done.
Wonderful.
The famous Brazilian defender.
Yes, exactly. Nice football link there, Sess. I like it. And next quote. You can't really see much from up here, but it's a great view.
Oh, I mean,
that's got to be
Michael
Michael
Owen.
Owen.
Plato, I don't know who it is.
It was actually Aristotle. No, it wasn't. No, that was Michael Owen.
I was close then.
Okay, can we do another one? I've got another line here. So, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit.
I mean, that is a philosopher.
That was Aristotle. Yeah, very, very well done there, Sess. Brilliant.
Thank you.
That's the beauty of being a goalkeeper. You can dive to your left or your right.
The thing is, I'm not defending the stupid things he says. I said that from the start, and he has said some hilarious things. I'll give you an example as well. Whichever team scores more goals usually wins.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong. You can't,
Usually is the problem I have there, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
So he is wrong. Actually, Sess, I expect your logic should have got there first, to be honest. How about this one? Whoa, hold on. He's not been the best man on the pitch, but he's been the best player.
Right, okay. I mean, was he talking about the fact that maybe he was going to a wedding, but he wasn't the best man.
I love how you don't even have to say it's Michael Owen, because you already
we
know.
it's Michael Owen.
Oh, Michael Owen.
I thought that was Aristotle. Sorry.
That shot is impossible. I saw Yaya Toure do it once.
Yeah. He's a good player, but he's not a great player. But he is a good player. So there we go. I think, we can decide. We'll let the listeners decide, shall we, for now? And then we'll see if we can fix them after the break. But I think now it's time to get into a halftime head scratcher.
Good morning. Today it's time for another half-time head scratcher with me, your friendly neighbourhood Somerset James. Today I'm asking you which player has taken part in the most World Cup matches. Find out after the break. Hello. Before the half-time break, my accomplice asked you who had taken part in the most World Cup matches. That would be Lionel Messi, who broke Lothar Matthäus's record of 25 in the 2022 final in Qatar. Though, if you believe Don Trump, then the answer is clearly him.
Thanks, Coops, as always. Oh, I mean, it'd be great if Coops could actually get into Michael Owen's position, and then he can give us... I mean, Coops has got endless amount of kind of wise words and quotes to say, isn't he?
Yeah, wise. Anyway, let's get on. So I'll get into my sense and non-sensibility, just so I can wash you guys of all illogicalness.
We do need a bit more logic on this episode, Seth, so
yeah,
go for it.
Today, I'd like to talk about the rule makers and the way they classify the rules. Because a lot of the rules are simple. Football, you can't use your hands. That's fair enough. Specifically, I'd like to talk about the rules of the penalty kicker. There's only a few rules, but one of the rules must be that the kicker is identified. Okay, fair enough, but surely that's actually a rule that's just throughout the entire game and shouldn't be one of the rules of penalty kicking. However, the second one is you must kick the ball forward. Now, I don't know about you, but that is one of the most obvious things ever. The third one, you must strike the ball with one motion. And yet that rule has gone so vague because now the run-up is one motion, but it doesn't have to be one motion. It doesn't make sense. And apparently the referees absolutely hate this and they all disagree with this because it's one motion, however, you're also allowed to stutter your run, which means it's not one motion. Supposedly, in the rules, it says the kicker may not kick the ball backward. In what situation would you want to kick the ball backwards? Why does that have to be a rule? I reckon if that rule was not in the rule book, nothing will change. All they've done is waste ink. And that is my sense and non-sensibility.
That's a good point, Seth. You can't kick the ball backwards on a penalty kick. I mean...
Yeah, and then after saying that you have to kick the ball forward as well. So what's the point in one rule?
It's pointless. It literally is pointless. And this is the problem with so many of the rules, isn't it? They write down so many things that don't really add anything to help anybody with. Yeah. If anything, it confuses everyone more, including the refs.
Yeah, exactly. At what point did they write the first rule saying you must kick it forward and then later on go, actually, it's a bit confusing. Maybe we should say you can't kick it backwards. Who confused that? Who kicked it sideways? It doesn't make sense at all.
Wow. Anyway, I know that was just your rant you wanted to get off your chest.
It was,
to distract us from humiliating you in defending Michael Owen, who is clearly a massive plonker. Who, yes, maybe Dan made a point. He might have this frustration because his career sort of finished a bit early. But as we've proven already, the stuff he's come out with, he does not really deserve to be in the pundit's position, does he?
Well, that's not something I'm arguing against. All I'm saying, and this is one of my fixes about his perception, is that loads of pundits, co-coms, former players say stupid things, and that guy, the HMRC of football podcast, he's proving that so many former players and referees and managers say ridiculous things. They lie, they embellish, they exaggerate,
bigging up their egos and stuff.
Yeah, completely. And so I think that's the case with pretty much everyone. It's just that Owen was labelled as such and very early in his punditry career, so anything he says now, even if it's genuinely a decent thing to say, gets labelled the same. That's my point. I'm not saying he doesn't say stupid things. I'm not saying he's not egotistical. All of those things I'm agreeing with. However, I'm just saying the perception is that whatever he says gets ridiculed.
So it's almost like the perception's not balanced. It's not showing...
Yeah, like I said with the whole Rio Ferdinand thing, with the defending and creative thing, that was a genuinely good point, and he did a good analogy, and yet it was viral for being supposedly ridiculous.
Almost taken out of context.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps that the perception and the opinion, though, is built because he has the biggest body of
I know he's quite small.
Stupid things against him. Like this HMRC guy's come in to call out all of these players that maybe were a bit smarter about what they were saying, so they weren't pulled up on it quite as badly. But the fact that even before HMRC, people were able to see the nonsense that Michael Owen was saying, does that not tell you that his perception was built upon his own his own abilities as a pundit? Like, do they not come from some truth?
I'm not saying that he's not a bad pundit. Like I say, he said a lot of silly things. That's not my argument. If you take, for example, John Motson. Now, I'm pretty sure all three of us respect John Motson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's brilliant. And most of the people listening either respect John Motson or don't know who he is.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be one of those two.
Exactly. Now, shall I tell you some of the things he said? He said he's got the taste of Wembley in his nostrils.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He also said the World Cup is a truly international event.
That's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
No.
What about this one? That shot might not have been as good as it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, that's all true, Seth. I don't know what your problem is, to be honest.
Yeah, what about Ron Atkinson? He had a brilliant career as a player, as a manager.
Wasn't he Mr. Bean?
Rowan Atkinson. Yeah. So he said it's a game of two halves, the first half and the second half.
I mean, that's right as well.
So true.
I don't know what your problem is. That's true.
Yeah. Andy Townsend, one of your faves. In the end, Rositzky initially did well.
In the end, he initially
did well.
Okay, yeah.
There's so many things that pundits say. Jamie Redknapp, he's the king of the word literally, isn't he? He literally hasn't got a right foot.
Really? Wow.
Literally. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
There's some more Ron Atkinson ones there if you like. He'll take some stopping, that lad. He's got pace, strength, and a right foot.
And you know what? To be fair, here's one from Plato that I didn't mention earlier, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got the taste for it, and now he's got the smell for it as well. Oh, sorry. No, that wasn't Plato. That was Michael Owen.
Oh, is it Michael Owen?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you another Ron Atkinson one, shall I? You can't do that unless you can do that.
Well, that's true. I don't know what your problem is. I'll raise you. It's a good run, but it's a poor run, really.
So good.
Yeah,
Beat that, Sess.
All right. One of the things Owen said, which he got ridiculed for quite rightly, was something about if he doesn't score, if they don't score, they'll hardly ever win. Something like that, wasn't it? Which is a ridiculous thing to say.
Yes, it was.
Do you know who else said that? Phil Neville. If you don't score, you're not going to win. And do you know who else said something similar to that? Mark Lawrenson. If you don't concede any goals, you'll win more games.
Well, this might be why Mark Lawrenson was booted off a match of the day, and Phil Neville got booted out of the England female women's football
female women
manager job. Those
female lady women. Yeah.
Don't get me cancelled, but yeah, they lost their jobs, rightly so, for saying such silly things.
Well, yeah, but it still means that other people say it.
And where's Mr. Bean gone anyway?
He's...
you don't see him around anymore either, do you? So, rightly so, all of these people have been cancelled from TV.
You're right. And he doesn't get too many jobs nowadays, does he? He's having to go on podcasts, having to drag his Ballon d'Or along. I'm not saying that he's not arrogant, and I'm not saying he doesn't say silly things. Most of what he said are ridiculous. However, what I'm saying is the perception is that he says silly things. So whenever he says something that's genuinely a decent thing, he's ridiculed.
So he says one correct thing every now and again. I mean...
No, I've said a few of them.
Okay, so yeah, in amongst 100 of incorrect
This is
things.
exactly my point about your argument about Declan Rice.
Oh,
everyone
personal,
says
don't
good
we?
things about Declan Rice. You hear one comment about Declan Rice and you're like, oh, everyone is criticising Rice all the time.
Yeah, I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, isn't it? So, you know, he could say,
yes,
like, all of the
have some
things in the
access.
world, and eventually he'll say something that doesn't sound totally stupid. Whether it's intentional or not, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not how the quote should be used. Broken clock being right twice a day is basically, it's completely unintentional, but he didn't unintentionally say the right thing twice a day.
But the thing is, if you're judging somebody, which I know, okay, you might be arguing we shouldn't judge anyone, but if you've got a defender who constantly scores own goals, but then occasionally keeps a clean sheet, you're going to say he's a rubbish defender. You can't...
Yeah, and I'm still saying he's a rubbish defender, as you say. He's a rubbish pundit.
So why does
I've agreed with that.
Why does he need a different perception?
Because people have perceived him as someone who says ridiculous things all the time, and so will ridicule something right that he says.
Okay, so
and I'm saying all pundits do this. For example, even the ones that are respected nowadays. Let's say Alan Shearer. He said something similar to Michael Owen. He said they'll be happy if they don't concede unless they do. Now, if Owen said that, but he's respected as one of the best pundits nowadays, isn't he?
Yeah.
They all do that. And one thing that Owen said is actually something that we said something similar. Do you remember when he was talking about, was it Memphis Depay, when he was playing for Man United? And he said, he looks like a footballer, doesn't he? Which is a silly thing to say. And I laughed when he said that. I was watching that game live and I thought, did he just say that? However, we've judged players on names. We've actually said something similar in the sense that names will determine how good a player is. And he's basically saying a look of a player determines if they're footballers or not.
To be fair, we did also have a Fixing Modern Footballers episode where we critiqued footballers running and also their hairstyles.
Yes, that is very true. And so there's a lot of things. This is my point. There's a lot of things that he says where it's ridiculed and then it's just labelled immediately and people think, well, let's not look at that again. And yet, later on, other people will say similar things, or it might actually be something that's considered the norm, like the whole everyone's athletes nowadays instead of footballers. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that needs to change.
Are you trying to pitch a space to Michael Owen on this podcast, sir? So is one of us going to get replaced? Yeah.
Are you saying it's not a good idea to have Michael Owen on our podcast? I mean,
no, it isn't.
If he says he wants to be on our podcast, I would say yes. Get out of the way, Dan. He is going
Step aside down there. We're closing that well off.
Yeah, I was going to say, just put the cover back on the well and pretend I'm not there. Don't worry about it.
Just hear the old mumble in the distance.
Yeah, I mean, if you can have respected people like John Mutson. John Mutson?
You got Northern there as well.
Yeah, John Mutson. Yeah, like John Mutson. If you have someone respected like him saying it's a 1-0 game, and if it stays like this, that'll be the final score. But if he's still respected, after all these things he said, I think loads of pundits say silly things. He said a lot more than most probably, and I think it's right to ridicule the silly things that he says. But the things that he says correctly, I think they should be respected. And he actually, because of the ridiculing, loads of people nowadays kind of ridicule his career. But again, we were talking right at the beginning about how good his career was, how good his potential was. You've got to be a good player to play for Liverpool, United, Real Madrid, these big clubs. And yet he got ridiculed, basically, for his career and then his punditry because of his career. And then all of his quotes now are just ridiculed. But I think that's the perception that needs to change.
You make a fair point. I mean, he is a bit of an anomaly.
Thanks. We'll leave it at there then.
And that's it for today's episode.
he is a bit of an anomaly in the sense that like he scored the winning goal in the Manchester derby, didn't he? But Man United fans don't really care for him that much. He scored a really big goal.
No.
And no one
Yeah,
really
he's pretty much not
cares.
respected by any of the. Yeah, and that was his fault as well. Like going from he didn't go from Liverpool to United, but he played for both, so he's not considered a legend for either. He's not considered a legend even though he was a Galacticos in Real Madrid.
No, true.
He's not considered a legend at all. He was hated by Newcastle because he refused to live in Newcastle. He helicoptered in.
Yeah, I heard that story. He used to get a helicopter up to the games and to training and stuff. He didn't even want to live in the area.
And then he was ridiculed because he put out videos to the other clubs, didn't he, to say he was available and fit. He doesn't get injured anymore and stuff. So he did a lot of things. He did that thing when he was 18, when he was like shooting volleys against the 13-year-old.
And celebrating.
So bad.
So a lot of things he did was terrible, and I agree with that. But then you have people like Rooney. I mean, how terrible is he as a pundit? How terrible was he as a manager? How terrible was he as a human being when he played football? But he's super respected.
Yeah.
That's a fair point, actually. That's the one correct thing you said today.
One correct thing.
I'd agree with that.
Shut up, James. A little bit of criticism to Wayne Rooney. Oh, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, Michael Owen's all right, really.
And you know what as well? I think, so he's not respected by Liverpool fans. He's not respected by United, Newcastle, Real Madrid, like you say. No. Also Arsenal, because he absolutely fluked a game in the FA Cup final back in 2001. Arsenal were all over him.
How have you managed this? We're talking about someone who never played for Arsenal, and you managed to bring Arsenal into it.
He absolutely fluked a game that you've never seen a more one-sided game.
I remember that. I remember that game. They scored 2 great goals. I remember that game.
Yeah. Also, that was 24 years ago, and we still haven't heard the end of it from James. It's been 24, and it's not even been like I've known you for 5 years, and so I've heard it. I've known you for longer than 24 years. It's been literally almost a quarter of a decade of you just going on about that game.
Well, what if somebody kidnapped your cat 24 years ago? You meant to just let that go and forget it, are you? You hold on to these things.
No, because that's an actual important thing. Football doesn't matter.
What? Right, Dan, I think we're getting Owen on to replace Sess.
Equally,
it's on this football podcast.
Equally, if you held on to your cat, you wouldn't have got it kidnapped in the first place, would you? So
yeah, maybe Michael Owen could learn from that.
Was that siding with me or with James? I don't quite understand that quote you said. That's very Michael Owen-esque of me.
I think it was Aristotle that said such a thing, wasn't it? About holding on to cats.
It's all this.
If my grandmother had wheels.
Yeah.
It's all this talk about philosophers and everything. I've just,
We got to remember, though, Aristotle, he was someone who actually said that flies had 4 legs. And people respected him so much that it was something like almost 1,500 years until people realised that flies have 6 legs. Because they just bothered, they were like, Aristotle said it, must be true.
So almost the opposite to Owen, because he built such a positive sort of image of himself that everyone just took what he said for granted.
Exactly. So I think this perception thing needs to change both ways, because it could end up stopping science. It could end up, the things that we need to know, like how many legs a fly has. Imagine how far we would have got in technology if we knew that flies had 6 legs.
It's held us back. Just like Owen's holding us back in football.
Exactly.
Can we come to like a middle ground here? Can I hate him, but still acknowledge when he says something that isn't stupid?
Well, hate is a strong word, Dan. I hate it when you say that.
We fixed hate watching already, Dan. I'm not sure that you're showing our listeners how to behave.
Yeah. This is why Owen is going to replace you.
Okay. Can I dislike him? Is that an acceptable term?
You may dislike, but I just hate it when you say things like that.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to offend you both. I do apologise.
Well, I think we're coming to the end there then so Michael Owen, hopefully his perception is a tiny bit more balanced in your mind. For me, I feel he's probably got the right perception, to be honest. But if we have learned anything today, it's that modern pundits aren't really learned men and women, are they, to be honest?
No, not really.
Don't believe what pundits say, is what we're saying. That's our fix, is it? Right, well, there we are. So this fantasy world where we all appreciate Michael Owen for the greatness that he comes out with, I think that's reminded me we should get into fantasy football. So
good idea.
Let's do a bit of John's Juicy Tips, shall we? Ooh, juicy, Master Luke.
Your tips are juicier than Plato's, John.
John's juicy tips.
Alright. Is your FPL team in need of some fireworks? Well, these tips are exploding with juice, so listen up. In defence, it's the cool Colombian Daniel Munoz for Palace. Palace don't face any of the top teams until game week 16, and Daniel has 3 assists and 1 goal already this season. In midfield, begrudgingly, it's an Arsenal player. It's Declan Rice. He's got all the routes to points with goals, assists and defensive contributions, and all for under 7 million. And up front, it's Jean-Philippe Mateta. What a wonderful phrase. Jean-Philippe Mateta. Ain't no passing craze. He's got the second highest XG in the whole league so far. So, go for John. Juicy.
Thanks, John, as always. Was there a few random Star Wars characters there that we might have...
Yeah, we've really spared no expense today.
That's it, I hope our listeners do appreciate all this work that we do, and we bring in some special characters like that. So, well, here we are. Let's get onto the league table, shall we? Our fantasy league table. Currently, at time of recording, there's still a few games to go on Sunday yet, but we've still got a league leader, Tom, with Stay Humble FC, 641 points going into the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Will he be pipped? It's crazy. He's on 33 points so far, with still 4 players left to play. I've jumped back up, like I was saying earlier on the episode. Oh yeah. So don't you worry, I'll be back above you soon, Cess. And John, who has currently moved up to 7th place.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
6 more places until he justifies his spot in our podcast.
Exactly. There we go. If you want to join our league and show your true ball knowledge, you can enter the code SD4GZV. And if you finish any weekend top, we will give you a shout out on the pod. I mean, there we are, guys. I think we've fixed an important aspect that so many people had questions about, and that is Michael Owen's perception.
Yeah. We've had literally so many people not ask us this question. And I think we've done a good job on it.
Yeah. So, thanks, everyone. And can I leave you on this very famous quote by the great philosopher Michael Owen?
Oh, yes. Michael of House Owen.
Exactly that. And remember, everyone, you have to score to win games. Have a great week. It's goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
Still in the well here, guys. Guys, the ladder. Guys.